In the dead of night, a lone fisherman, Thomas, sets out into the vast, unending ocean. The moon, a solitary beacon, casts a silver glow over the serene waters, making the sea appear as a tranquil, untouched expanse. Thomas, wrapped in his worn-out coat and hat, gently guides his humble boat into the heart of this silent world. His hands, weathered by the sea and time, expertly maneuver the ropes and sails as he has done countless times before. This is his world, his routine, a dance with the sea under the moon's watchful gaze. The rhythm of the waves, the whisper of the wind, the faint creaking of his boat, all these form a familiar symphony that accompanies him on his nocturnal sojourns. But tonight, the symphony would play a different tune. As Thomas cast his net into the dark waters, he felt a tug stronger than any he had ever experienced. Straining against the pull, Thomas felt an overwhelming sense of dread wash over him. Thomas, a seasoned mariner, found himself ensnared in a battle against an unseen adversary. His fishing net, once a tool of livelihood, now seemed to be a tether to something malevolent lurking beneath the waves. As the struggle ensued, his fear began to balloon, fueled by the relentless tugging at his net and the growing unease that something was profoundly wrong. His heart pounded in his chest like a wild drum, matching the rhythm of the sea that had turned treacherous. The wind howled, whispering tales of forgotten sea monsters, amplifying the terror gnawing at his sanity. Every muscle in his body screamed in protest, his hands raw and blistered, but he refused to relinquish his grip. The once familiar act of fishing had morphed into a macabre dance with the unknown. With a final desperate tug, the net came free, carrying with it an air of foreboding silence. As Thomas pulled up his net, the moonlight revealed a sight that made his blood run cold. The night was eerily silent. The only sound was the soft lapping of the waves against his boat. His hands, rough and weathered from years of battling the sea, trembled as he began to haul in his catch. But this was not the familiar struggle of fish against net. No, this was something different, something otherworldly. There was a strange, chilling sound coming from the net, a sound that echoed in the stillness, sending shivers down his spine. It was as if the very air around him was recoiling in fear, the temperature dropping dramatically. His heart pounded in his chest like a drum, his breath fogging up in the sudden cold. He could feel it, an unseen presence that filled the air with an overwhelming sense of dread. His instinct screamed at him to let go, to throw the net back into the depths and flee, but curiosity, a fisherman's eternal curse, held him fast. With a final determined tug, he pulled the net aboard, his eyes widening in terror as the moonlight revealed his catch. In the net lay a creature unlike any he had ever seen, its eyes gleaming with malevolence in the moonlight. It was a sight that would haunt his nightmares for the rest of his days, a sinister discovery that marked the beginning of his end. Frozen with fear, Thomas could only watch as the creature slowly began to free itself from the net. The creature, a ghastly fusion of fish and man, was an abomination that defied all known laws of nature. Its scales shimmered with an eerie light, and its eyes, two orbs of fathomless black, held an intelligence that was far from human. Its body contorted, twisting and turning in ways that made Thomas's stomach churn. With each movement, the creature seemed to grow larger, its grotesque form filling Thomas's vision. Its mouth opened, revealing rows of jagged teeth, and it let out a sound that was half growl, half scream, a sound that echoed in the empty expanse of the ocean. Suddenly, the sea around Thomas began to churn. Waves, monstrous and wild, rose up, whipped into a frenzy by an unseen force. The sky darkened, a storm brewing out of nowhere, the wind howling like a beast in pain. The sea began to boil, steam rising up in thick clouds, obscuring the once clear night. Everything around Thomas was in chaos, but the creature remained calm, almost serene. It looked at Thomas, its gaze piercing through the fog, through the fear. In its eyes, Thomas saw his impending doom, the terrifying consequence of his curiosity. As the creature turned its gaze upon him, Thomas realized he was not the hunter tonight, but the prey. With nowhere to run, Thomas faced the creature, his heart pounding in his chest. The once calm sea now boiled with a fearsome tempest, mirroring the terror in Thomas's eyes. The creature, a grotesque amalgamation of every seafarer's nightmare, advanced, its eyes gleaming with a malevolent hunger. In this chilling moment, time seemed to slow. Every crashing wave, every gust of the biting sea wind was a cruel reminder of his impending doom. But Thomas, a fisherman by birth and a fighter by spirit, stood his ground. A futile gesture, perhaps, against such an abominable beast, but a testament to his indomitable will. His breath hitched as the creature lunged, its monstrous form eclipsing the moon. The sea around them roared a symphony of terror, as if bearing witness to this unholy confrontation. And then, silence, an empty boat, a vacant sea. Thomas was never seen again. A horrific end to a tale that began as an ordinary fishing trip. A chilling reminder that there are mysteries beneath the waves, best left undiscovered.